I'm Brad Sugars, and welcome to this week's edition of World's Best Business Coach. Now, every week we get to find out the secrets behind amazing business coaches and how they help their clients grow their business. This week's no different. Bill Gilliland joins us. He's been a coach for many, many years, achieved amazing results. In fact, some of the testimonials from his clients, not just the business growth, but their own personal growth. I think you'd be quite interested in how he does it and what he does. So, Bill, thanks so much for your time today, and thanks for joining us on the call.
Yeah, glad to be here, Brad.
You know, Bill, everyone comes to coaching in a different fashion. What brought you to coaching? What was your background prior to becoming a coach?
I actually started life as an engineer, a couple of years in corporate, and I got lucky and went to work for a family-owned business, not my family. And about 4 months in, they said, hey, we want you to run the biggest chunk of the business. And so I learned business sort of the wrong way, top down. And
Yep.
I knew I always wanted to go into business for myself, tried that a couple of times, and figured out that I didn't know everything there was to know about running a business. And so I went on a search to figure that out, and began helping people along the way, just as sort of a byproduct of what I was doing. And we had a business that eventually I sold and didn't have anything to do, and ran into ActionCOACH, and the rest is history. It's been a brilliant ride.
You know, it's fun when you get your own business to run without you. It's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do now? All right, I'll help people. So it's a fantastic thing. What do you think has been the most fun stuff in coaching for you? What have you enjoyed the most?
Well, obviously, I think what I've enjoyed the most has been to see the growth of our clients, to see the results that they get. The cool thing about coaching is it's not about the coach, it's about the clients and about the results that they get to achieve. And so that's really what's gratifying and what's really satisfies me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I know one other thing. You're a big proponent of education. We can see all the books behind you in your office there. You know, you get your clients learning a lot. Is there any particular books you love them to read, one or two books you think are great for business owners?
Well, I think it depends on what they're focusing on at the time. I've actually got a suggested reading list that I hand to them. But some of the ones, you know, leadership, I usually get them on John Maxwell pretty quickly. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. If it's about, I like The Referral of a Lifetime if somebody's looking to build up a repeat business. I like all the Marshall Goldsmith stuff. It's really good for the higher level folks, particularly What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So those are all just a couple of the books.
Yeah. And of course, you know, my books as well, Bill, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, that goes without saying. We always get them. Well, we do start them out. We start them out with the business coach and instant cash flow, and then we're moving on to some extra stuff outside of action. But you're right, the books are first. Yeah.
I'm just joking with you, buddy. You know, look, when you work with a business client, there's obviously some of them that stick in mind because, you know, you had a lot of fun with them or you got a lot of results with them. Tell me a story, too, about one of your clients and why did they get the results they got?
Well, one that comes to mind is he's an excavator. And when we started out working with him, he was about break even. It was back in 2008, 2009. As you remember, not the best time to be in the construction industry.
Nope.
But he was still doing okay. And, you know, he got it. He didn't believe that he knew it all. And he was open to the learning, and he was open to the coaching, and he actually did the things that we asked him to do. And so as we began to work with him, we were able to begin to build. He got the people part really quickly. He's really pretty good at bringing on people. We helped him a little bit with his recruiting process, but he really had a sort of a process-oriented mentality. And, you know, I mean, his business is quadruple now of what it was then. And he says, you know, near as he can tell. And then we got him coming to some of the BEFs and some of the other seminars, and he's just a sponge. He just wants to be better and wants to continue to grow and wants to build a bigger business. And now we're looking at, great, how do we take him just from those? You know, he's been growing probably 40, 50% a year. You know, now, great. So how do we do, you know, 20, 30 times as opposed to just 40 or 50%? So, I mean, that's success. He's built a great team. We just had a call yesterday, and he was talking about how smoothly everything was going, and how the guys were stepping up and doing what they were supposed to, and how it was freeing him up to do the things that he needed to do to grow business.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's amazing how when business gets boring is the time when we've actually achieved what we're supposed to achieve with these people. So, I find it interesting when you look at coaching him, and obviously team is a very important thing which you coach him, leadership, team, management, all of that sort of stuff. What are some of the keys to recruiting really good people in your mind? What are some of the things that really stick out as got to do this stuff?
Well, I think, first of all, I like to get my clients to be clear on who they want. One of the key hires that we had for him was essentially the person who's going to be the general manager moving forward. Mm-hmm. And so we had to be really clear about not only what they were going to do, but who they needed to be and how they were going to fit into the culture, and what kind of attitudes, and I call it attitude, skills, and characteristics. What are the three areas that we need? So getting clear is the first thing. The second thing is I tell people just slow down. Just that we don't want to be in a hurry to hire. What happens obviously is people get in a hurry, they hire somebody and they wish they'd never done it. They just pick up, somebody that's relative or out of a job or something along those lines, and it's really not what to do. So getting clear on that, then getting clear on the job, and then taking time and creating a process where they have multiple interviews, where they have multiple stages and multiple trials, and being willing to walk away and start over if they need to, just not being in a hurry, that's going to build. Getting the team members involved is another key element in it. It's just I think the big thing is slow way down, have a process, and be willing to deselect a bunch of people, and you end up with the one that's good. So it's like fishing with a net instead of fishing with one hook.
Yeah. Bill, too often business owners don't take the time to learn all that stuff, and they're so busy chasing their tail. I know one of the things you love coaching on, and a lot of your testimonials are around this, that you help them build a lifestyle, not just work harder, but actually build a business that gives you lifestyle. What are some of the keys for a business owner to get their head around working less rather than working more, and yet the business makes more money?
Well, I think deciding to do that. I think choosing that's where we want to go, to long term, where they want to go. Now, most of the clients understand that they have to do the work on the front end before they can achieve that on the back end. But I can give you an example. I had another client who was an optometrist and had 3 kids, and she wanted to show up for their PTA stuff and pick them up from school. And we just sat down and said, okay, well, how many days are you going to work? And she came up with 3.5. And we started with that goal in mind. And we booked in the number of clients, or number of patients in her case, that she needed, and started filling those slots so that she could get to the point where she would make the money she needed to make and continue to have the lifestyle where she could watch her kids grow up.
Yeah.
So to me, that's but I think that's starting with, and then the other thing is, I think they've got to have a clear idea of what they're going to do on those days off. If they're not used to having, say, Fridays off, and that was their goal, let's get Friday off, and they work Monday through Thursday, and then they take that first Friday off, they're likely to still be at work.
Yeah.
If they don't have something planned and something booked in out there. So a couple of things around. That's just a little bit of a tip there.
Yeah.
But I think it's just making your mind to do it is really what it's about.
When you look at getting results as a business coach, you've got phenomenal results. Your clients love you, and they don't just, I don't know how to put this other than they love Bill. It's like they're like Bill fans. What do you think it is about you, Bill, that you get the results you get? Not just, a lot of coaches are nice out there, but some get the results. What is it about you?
I think I care about them and about their families and about their growth. And I think that comes across. And I think as long as, I'm willing to say the things that need to be said. And You know, it doesn't have to be, I don't have to be a hard ass. If I need to be a hard ass, I can be a hard ass, but I don't need to do that most of the time I can just ask them a simple question and they get it. And they, you know, they're, all right, I got the learning. Great. What are we going to do about it? And then it's on to the next thing. So the other piece of it is, I think is always looking for what's next. So what we got this done now, how do we keep that going, and what's next, and what's next, and what's next, and what's next? There's always more. There's always the difference between business and sports is the game ends in sports. In business, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what what's next? What are we going to get better at?
Yeah, it's a couple of your clients actually mentioned that you keep them focused on their future, and it's like you've really helped them build a vision, I guess would be the thing, of where they can go and where they can. And to that end, a couple of them even mentioned that their vision for their business is much greater, much bigger now because of you. How do you get people to have a bigger vision for themselves and their business?
Brad, it usually comes down to me asking them a question that they weren't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Something along the lines of, I had a client one time and he was talking about, because I asked him, I said, okay, who would you like to emulate in your industry? And he named a competitor. And I said, well, when do you think we'd be big enough to buy them? You know, that's a vision expanding question. You know, he was like, I just want to be like them. I wasn't thinking about, taking them over. Those are the kind of things that I think expand someone's vision. So that's usually all it takes.
Yeah. And you can't ask yourself those questions. It's very tough it's like, you don't know what you don't know type thing.
Exactly. They're not thinking that. A good client is focused on their business and internally. And a lot of times they're not looking out and thinking, okay, what could this be? And outside looking in, we have an advantage because we can say, well, I can see, you being regional or national or multinational, and they're thinking, how do I, get 20% next year on the business? And another thing I noticed is most people have more potential than they themselves realize.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's easy to see from outside, and a lot of them don't have, part of what I believe my mission in life is to help them have confidence to be able to try new things, to be able to step into what I believe they can become, not necessarily what they believe yet. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, that brings up the community aspect, both in your business and as part of the Action Coach business worldwide. You do a thing where you get your clients together, you do their planning stuff. I think a lot of your clients, one of the things they love is that they get to be with people who've been with you for many years. Even the brand new ones come in and go, hang on, I see where this guy's gone with Bill's help. I could go there too type thing. Do you see that or is that done on purpose? How does that work?
Originally, it wasn't done on purpose. It's since become done on purpose. What I find is that business owners think that, in fact, I have a testimonial that says this. I thought I was the only one who didn't know this stuff. That was his testimonial. And by putting people in the same room, they understand they have the same issues. Everybody's got the same issues. Everybody's got time issues. Everybody's got cash flow issues. Everybody's got team issues. Everybody's looking at the same challenges and the same opportunities. And I think it helps to put 20, 30, 40, 50 brains in a room together, and something really creative happens. And, I can't explain it. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess let's flip that over for a second. As part of Action Coach, keeping you at the top of your game, hanging out with the other top coaches in the world, how does that impact your business on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis?
Well, my vision is totally expanded as well. I mean, every time I sit with you, every time I sit with the other coaches, every time I get together, every time I go to conferences, one of the reasons I go to conference, I mean, my vision has exploded. And I think being congruent and being a model in the community, I believe is important. I mean, if my vision is growing, then what I've found is my client's vision is growing. If my vision is stagnating, their vision is stagnating. And frankly, that doesn't work. Every time I get in a funk, I go take a class or read a book or watch a video or something, get in the car and drive around for 6 hours and listen to listen to an audio that's going to get me back on track. I mean, the education piece is, look, we're in the education business. I mean, that's the facts. And, we have to be ahead of our clients. We have to be always a step ahead. And it's just, and so I think it's wonderful. It's one of the things I love about Action Coach and about what we do is that I get to be continuously learning. It's not only, it's fun. It's what I love to do.
Yeah. And I know we challenge each other too. One of the greatest things is when you see a coach improve another business or improve their own business, it challenges you to grow yours or to help your clients more. One of the ones where, and actually I was just chatting with a coach this morning, and he actually had kept records of ever since he started, and he's created over 500 jobs. Did you ever keep a record of how many jobs you think you've created over the years?
Really, we haven't. I did a quick one time on an action club, and it was early on. We only had four clients and it was a very small action club. It was sort of the beta test to understand. I figured we got to do this, and I need to learn how to do it. And I went back to those same. It was only 4 clients, and I went back 2 years later and figured out the average job creation just on an action club, just on the group coaching, was one guy had 9, and all the rest of them had at least 2. So the average was like 4 jobs. I mean, the dollar per job was investment for a community was nothing.
Yeah.
It was just nothing for the jobs. And I'm thinking, okay, now on the one-to-ones and all the other group things and all the seminars we've done, it's phenomenal. I mean, there's
got to be hundreds, if not into.
Oh yeah. No, it's clearly hundreds. I've never actually sat down and tried to figure it out, but that's. I know it's in the hundreds. No question. Yeah.
Bill, we're extremely proud of the work you do. We love seeing your clients' testimonials. The results you're getting is phenomenal. I know that you're very humble about what you do, but congratulations. We believe you're one of the world's best business coaches, and we want to recognize you and thank you for being part of the Action Coach team.
Thanks, Brad.